Hello, NAWBO Nation and to be NAWBO Nation members. I am Margaret Brown and I am here with Lynda Bishop, and we both proudly serve the NAWBO community on the NAWBO HQ staff. And Lynda, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. You know, I love every time I get to talk to the NAWBO Nation and the soon-to-be NAWBO Nation. Yeah. And I love serving with you on this team. This organization is so incredible to be a part of.
Yep, could not agree more. We were just reminiscing on how long the Circle program, which is something we're going to really focus on today, has been around for 5 years. And
5 years.
It has just flown by. I said, Lynda, so we've been working together for that long.
Yeah.
And it's unreal. So tell us about the Circle. We hear about the Circle. We see it. Tell us about it.
Okay. So the Circle is one of my favorite things to talk about. So I will try to be as succinct as I possibly can because I could just run all over the place with it. I was part of the amazing team on the national board that actually developed the Circle 5 years ago. And so I've been a part of it since it was an idea before we actually brought it into the real world. So for the past 5 years, I have watched this grow and evolve, and the women inside of it just continue to grow and evolve. Now, I'll tell you, the NAWBO Circle is for premier level NAWBO members who have businesses that are at $1 million and more in annual revenue, or women who have had businesses in the past that were at least that size. So they've grown a business to that size at some point. So they don't actually have to have a business right now today that's making more than $1 million a year in annual revenue. They could have done it in the past, and they're still welcome in the Circle. The Circle is incredible. This is a group of women from all over the country who have grown their businesses to a larger size, to a size that only 2 to 3% of all women business owners even get to. So this is the top tier, right? And so the NAWBO Circle is really what our mission is that we provide top tier women business owners with a transformational blueprint that aligns all of the aspects of their lives. Because, you know, when you're a business owner, you're just not a business owner. We all know this, right? We're women. And women do everything. And when you grow a business to that size, you don't get to stop being a mom, stop being a sister, stop being a wife, stop cleaning the house, maybe you stop cleaning the house. But there's so many other things that you don't get to drop in your life. And so we help them with the transformational blueprint that aligns all of the aspects of their lives. And we help them to create deeper bonds. Because, and this isn't my favorite saying, but it's a true saying. And the saying is, it's lonely at the top. When you are part of the top 2 to 3%, it can get lonely there. But it doesn't need to be lonely there. And that's why we built the Circle, is because we knew that our top tier women business owners were having a hard time finding their group of women that really got them, that understood what it was like to have, you know, the government regulations, the employees, the HR issues, the growth issues of running a larger company. It's harder to find another woman who really gets that at that level. And so that's why we built the Circle, to put them together, to help them get to know each other, for them to build those relationships, and to have that sisterhood at that level of people who really, really understand who they are, what they go through, what their life is, what their worries are, and what their dreams are, and how to get there. None of us, we never get there by ourselves, do we?
No.
Every level of NAWBO, you've got women who get you. Yeah, whether you're just starting out or whether you're running a really large business, we have women who get you. And that's what the Circle does. We help them to build stronger businesses and stronger communities.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Wow. If I didn't know you better, I would think that you just read that off of a teleprompter.
No, I've been doing this for 5 years.
Lynda, that is so beautiful. And from an outsider looking in, meaning that I don't have a lot of interaction with the circle, other than I've known a lot of those members for several years. Just so you know, I hear such positive and just glowing remarks on how the circle has impacted this category of women business owner. They mention they do mention the fun, because I mean, we have to say that NAWBO is about productivity, efficiency, growing your company, and all the things that we need, but we always have fun.
Right. We need that.
You need that. I mean, Lynda and I had fun just preparing for 5 minutes, to have this conversation.
It's true.
But we do. And so you bring so much life and joy. And so the program, I know, you launch a program and you don't know what's going to happen. And I'll say that the NAWBO Circle has been one of the most successful programs that I've seen. And I'm so glad that our NAWBO Nation at that level has this support.
Well, thank you. First of all, this is a labor of love of everybody that helps to run the circle. We have an amazing circle steering committee that is actually made up of circle members. And we all know each other. I mean, I think that's a really, really important part of the circle, is that yes, we are very concerned with helping you reach your business goals. Absolutely. Absolutely. You didn't get to the top 2-3% of women business owners by not being a driver, right? By not going after your goals, by not working really hard, by not pulling resources, by not joining things that were going to help you get there. We've got that part. What we really, the sweet spot, and I survey these members all the time, and not just formal surveys, but we talk to each other all the time. We actually built relationships. We talk to each other, and over and over and over, what I hear and the feedback that we get is that the value of the circle is in each other. It is in those relationships. I have women in the circle who have been there all 5 years, and there's no way they would drop the circle. They would drop pretty much everything else first, because this is not just where they build their business. This is where people understand them and get them, where they have true relationships, where they don't feel lonely, where they can come as they actually are. That's one of the hardest things. So I've learned from these women that when you are running a larger company like that, the places where you get to really be real and be yourself get less and less and less. You know, if you're struggling with something, if you have business challenges, and if you're running a business, you have them.
Yep.
You do. We all do. And in fact, it just may be exponentially larger because you're running a larger business with more employees and more revenue and more responsibility. But it gets harder to get to a place where you can kind of let that wall down and let that guard down and say, look, this is what's happening. This is where I am, and I need some help or support around this. And that's what we do for each other. And so we keep those women growing. Yeah.
That's amazing. And so how does someone become part of the circle?
Well, it's easier than you think.
Okay.
Because we want you and we want it to be easy, right? And we're never going to make it hard for you to engage. And so
hold on, I have something to say.
Okay, what?
A comment came in that says, so true. I would drop pretty much everything before I would drop out of the circle.
Yes.
And I can tell you who said that, but in this live feed, unfortunately, it blocks out the person's name for privacy. Oh, but it's public. Never mind. Go on.
Well, I tell you,
Molly.
Who was it?
Molly Gimmel.
Molly. It was instrumental in making sure that the circle got launched and making sure that it continues to grow and continues to improve. We are shaking things up this year, by the way, on the circle. Or within the circle and leadership of the circle, because we have been doing this for 5 years. And so much has changed in the last year, right? I mean, with the pandemic and all the
Yep.
things going on, businesses have changed, business landscape has changed, how people are doing business has changed, and the circle changes right along with it. And so we're shaking things up this year. We're refreshing a whole bunch of it. It's not going to be the same thing as it was before.
Mhm.
And so it's going to be new and fresh and what we need now. And so we're excited about that. More will be coming out about that. We've got an incredible committee that's working on it. We also have board members on the C3 side of NAWBO, which is the NAWBO Institute, which is where the circle is housed. They're also working on it. We all work together. We all talk to each other. We all share together to make it even better all the time. So how you can get involved with it. Now, the program year, it is an annual program. So it runs with the NAWBO year. So it starts in July, ends in June. And so pretty soon, actually, it'll be in April, will be the link to
join. I think she froze up. I'm going to take her off. So as soon as she comes back on, I will bring Lynda back in. But April will launch the new enrollment for the circle. Remember, you do need to be a NAWBO Premier member, and you can do that today. And that link is located in our captions, nawbo.org/membership. So just so you know, through the end of April, we are running our spring membership drive. And we want to invite you to even ask questions. Oh, Lynda's power went out. Okay. Things happen. And we want to invite you to ask questions, learn more about NAWBO. Why should I join NAWBO? If you are a woman business owner and you would like to find out more, please comment, DM, and I will get back to you and we will help you to understand, the amazingness of this organization. Another thing I urge you to do is here's Lynda. I'm just going to finish this thought.
my power went out.
Take a look at hashtag NAWBO Nation across all social media. You will connect with so many NAWBO members and chapters, and that hashtag is on fire. So please go there, do your research, and join us. Okay, go back to your thought.
Back to my thought. It's always the weirdest thing that happens when all of a sudden everything just goes black and it gets really quiet in the room, and I go, oh, darn it.
That's what
terrible
happened.
terrible timing. So to get involved with us, then there is a link on the website, of course. And so if you go to nawbo.org and you go to resources, NAWBO Institute, scroll down and the NAWBO circle is right there. You can read more. There's a link there to join. That link will be updated in April for the new program year coming up. It's only $2,500 a year to belong to the circle.
Unreal.
And with that, yeah, I mean, it's an incredible value because we have special education components every month. We have the WBC. It includes your full registration to the WBC. We've got mastermind groups, confidential, professionally run mastermind groups every single month. We've got an incredible book club, best book club I've ever been in. We've got just so many different things going on. We've got the happy hour every single month. You're going to get to know the other women in there. What I have found really, really interesting that's really come to light in this past week that I want to talk about too, is that yes, there are members that have been in the circle for the past 5 years, but just in the last month, and I don't know if this is happening because of the pandemic, because people have been so isolated for the past year, but there are women coming forward more than I've ever seen before who are asking not just about NAWBO, but asking about the circle. And just in the last 2 days, I've talked to 4 different women who have joined NAWBO and are eagerly waiting to join the next circle program because they're like, yes. And not only was I kind of isolated before, but now after a year of even worse isolation in the pandemic,
I've realized that what I need more than anything else is to find my group of women that I can connect in, where I can build relationships, where I can reset myself. And they're showing up, and we're so glad that they are, because we're here and we're open and we want to engage with all of them. Bring them in. Here we are, and we've been doing this for 5 years, and this is the best thing that we can possibly do. So yeah, it's the timing, awesome. I think is really really good for women who are, because I know this happens to me sometimes when I think about joining something new, and if I hear it's already been in place for a while, I'm like, I'm going to be the new person. I don't know if I want that. Yeah, right. And who wants to come into a group that's already going, right? We have new people all the time, and new circle women are showing up almost daily right now, because they're realizing that there is a lot of power and a lot of connection that is waiting to be had. And especially as we move forward into this next year of the country reopening and things, and finding that new balance, and finding, finding where we belong. Yeah.
Yep. And I will also say that to our members, because as you mentioned, the statistic of women business owners who actually reach 1 million and above, it's such a small percentage. And so, it doesn't take a lot of math to know that our members, not a lot of them are at that level. But I want to also say that our members who join NAWBO, get involved, take advantage of the programs, and they stay, diligent to be connected to people across the country. Remember, a NAWBO membership is a national membership with a local presence sometimes. Not every local, area has a NAWBO chapter. So look at your membership as a national experience. There's so many opportunities, because NAWBO, and this, from the CEO to the national board to the institute board, they know that there are opportunities to help women get to that $1 million. And so NAWBO is constantly moving forward, constantly offering new programs and opportunities with different partners. So you just need to pay attention, apply, put your name in, and watch yourself grow.
And here's something interesting too. While only 2 to 3% of women-owned businesses reach that $1 million mark, we have a much higher percentage in NAWBO of women who have reached that mark.
That's
right. I think the last time we surveyed, it was, oh my gosh, I'll get the number wrong. So nobody gets to quote me on this, and the number changes all the time, right? And especially after a year of pandemic. But Molly, it was a high number.
Molly just gave us the stat. A higher percentage of NAWBO members are 1 million plus than in the general WBO population. I think it's around 20% of our members who are at that level versus 3% of all WBOs. That's incredible.
It is incredible. And it really speaks really highly to NAWBO. I mean, that being said, we also have programs for brand new businesses. And, the NAWBO Institute has incredible programs for women businesses of all sizes. So if you are a startup, don't let this, let this sway you. But at the same time, if you are, wouldn't you rather be in a group where there's a lot of successful women business owners in there to connect with and learn from and be in community with?
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter if you're just starting out or you've surpassed the $1 million mark. You're going to fit here.
Yes. I remember a NAWBO member telling the story about how she went into, it was the Los Angeles chapter, and she walked into the room because the membership director had said, yes, you need to join, you need to get involved, join and get involved. And this brand new business owner, just as green as could be, walks into this beautiful Beverly Hills boardroom, felt totally out of place. And the story she tells is that month after month, she would go to this meeting feeling like she was not contributing, but always felt welcomed. And she said, but within a year, she was the one contributing ideas. She was the one they were looking to her specific field. And that's what NAWBO is. And to this day, 10 years later, she has these friends in, high places, and she's grown her business to, almost $500,000. And imagine that.
Right?
The power of NAWBO.
Is that your story, Margaret?
It is.
I know this story. That was your story, wasn't it? Yeah. It was 11 years ago that I got invited to a NAWBO into NAWBO at the local chapter, and by far that is the best decision I ever made for my business, and just for me, even just on a professional level and on a personal level. My friendships that I have in NAWBO, they are lifetime, whether I keep my business or not. They're lifetime.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lynda, what about our first encounter?
Oh yeah. We were in Washington, D.C. in Advocacy Day, which by the way is fantastic. And
another perk.
Yeah, really, really big perk. And we were actually weren't we going to the News Museum?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And so it was cloudy that day. It was raining on and off. And so we watched our NAWBO sisters jump into cabs to head over. And Margaret and I, who did not know each other very well yet, we had just met, decided that we wanted to walk. And we had one umbrella. And so we started walking. And as soon as we started walking, it started pouring. And so we had our one umbrella and we're both under it. And we're walking and laughing ourselves silly all the way there as our NAWBO sisters are driving by, honking and waving at us.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Molly was in one of those cabs.
And Margaret and I looked at each other and went, "You're my kind of person, aren't you?"
Yep.
Yes. I met another kindred in NAWBO and went all the way to Washington, D.C. to find her. And
that's right.
Was,
anyone who's willing to walk. I mean, it must have been a mile at least. And
in the rain.
It's like you found that one person. And I'll say one more funny or walking story. Our last in-person event was in New Mexico. That's right. And we had all just had dinner, and I'm thinking I need to go to Walgreens. And I found one person who was willing to go, and it was Jackie Hayes. So just so you know, she's up for a walk too.
Oh, now we know, Jackie Hayes, you're on my walk list.
So, oh my gosh, how fun. Wow. Well, this has been great, Lynda. Thank you so much for sharing. I know that you run this program, but I know it's also just a huge part of, you care about every business. I hear it, in our team calls, and I just really appreciate everything that you do. I love working with you. And that's it. And we just together, we welcome people to come join us. If you're not ready for the circle, that's fine. Come be a NAWBO member. If you're a NAWBO member and you're not using your membership, start attending these events. All of our events are listed, nawbo.org/events.
See you there.
All righty. Thank you so much, Lynda.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.